I have two questions. One is, Juhi, did you see that you could spend more on Facebook when you started running TV?
Yeah, we definitely saw a halo effect on all digital. Yes.
So you're just able, like, your point of diminishing returns basically got pushed out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then second question was on Facebook, if you're running performance campaigns, you can almost, you're probably around a 2% or 1 to 3% click-through rate.
Mm-hmm.
How does that vary to TV? So like you send your ad out for Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of people are coming to the site?
I don't know the exact percent off the top of my head, but I would say it's pretty comparable when you have a top performing network.
And what are the other things you do? Because like a lot of times I'll see a commercial for something. I don't go to their site right away. Now I do because I know there's some nerd on the other side who's looking at Google Analytics because that's me sometimes. But like how else do you measure to understand if somebody found out about the brand through TV?
Yeah, so Tatari's attribution, I mean, I think most of it is in that 5-minute window of the spot airing, but some of it, it's called a drag factor, which you could probably explain better. But it takes into account some additional conversions that might happen later as well.
Got it.
And then on the streaming side, it's IP match. So that just happens, right?
Right.
And then from our perspective, we have the How Did You Hear About Us TV, the question in our quiz. So we're able to look at that as well, which has been pretty accurate, honestly.
Got it.
Is it more expensive to buy, this is a dumb TV commercial question. Is it more expensive to buy the first commercial right after a TV show stops? So like, let's say I'm gonna go back to Law & Order. You're watching Law & Order. The first commercial, is that more expensive than the second commercial? Because people are more likely to be watching it?
You may be like pay more to
be that
in
first
some
one.
cases to be in an area in which you want, right? So think about like the final ad break before like a game-winning field goal or the kickoff, right? There's certain times that are and you can pay a premium.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That like, they're like,
In
this is
some
a game-winning
cases.
field goal. The ads will be more expensive during this. That's why they're calling timeouts right before those field goals.
Obviously, we're not controlling the outcome of the game,
Yeah, of
but
course.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I know
you can sort of I guess make recommendations on whenabouts you'd like to run.
That's so interesting.
You know, one thing I think most people don't know this, but like on linear TV, you can buy 30-second slots, you can buy 60 seconds, and you can buy 15s.
Yeah.
And most people don't know you can actually get the 15 slots at 50% off from the 30 at half the price. So a lot of times, like if you want to get into TV, like you could also just test the 15s if you're worried about the budget.
Yeah. Are you running mostly 15s, 30s, or 60s?
We do a mix. Most of the inventory sits in 30 seconds and 15s. So we mostly play in those.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we end up scaling 15s because it's half the price.
That's interesting.
With most ads, I feel like there's you have to have a really good hook because otherwise people just keep scrolling. But with TV, somebody's probably just sitting there and your competition is probably somebody pulling their phone out. How important, like how do you think about the creative or the storyboard of that 15 seconds to try to maximize it the most?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we usually tend to start with the 30s because you're getting most of the brand message out there. And then once we get a read on it and we want to optimize it down, like say it's like just a little bit over our CAC goal or something, we'll introduce the 15. Because then you're getting that CPM cut and you already know that the messaging works. In the 15, usually you basically want to have the gist of the ad and you want to make sure your call to action and offer is in there.
And on Facebook, for example, like the best practice is you show the product in the first few seconds, you sort of address the problem. I was on my flight to LA, there was this brand, I think Free Fly Apparel or Fish Fly, something like that.
They work with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw their ad and they didn't have a single logo until the last like 5 seconds pop up. And I messaged them and I was like, why do you guys do this? But does that not matter in TV? Like you don't have to be so upfront and startling people by it.
It's something you can test for, right? And so maybe it was a scenario where they tested having a logo and not having a logo. They didn't see a demonstrable difference. And so they said, okay, I want to make it feel a little bit higher quality, right? Or a little bit more upper funnel. Some of the things that just tend to work best is like a soft call to action, right? So think like learn more as opposed to buy now. It's a little bit less salesy. And then simplicity. Like one of the things that always works, I was not surprised when you said the founder spot, right? because it's very simple. It's direct eye contact, someone looking at the camera, maybe explaining the founder story, the problem solution. Yeah.
And
Did they respond to you, by the way? You messaged them and you're like, why don't you have the logo?
yeah, well, I tried adding like 8 people on LinkedIn, and one of their consultants responded.